Key lessons from the CDL in 3 minutes. First, just to quickly frame the discussion. I learned a ton of tactical stuff from the CDL, but that's not really what I want to talk about today. I'd rather talk about the things I learned that changed the way I think. They're probably more interesting, and they'll definitely have a bigger impact on me in the long run. They are learning to make decisions with imperfect information, learning to appreciate what I bring to a team, and gaining clarity on my career trajectory. Let's start with the first one. I don't think I'll ever forget interview day. I'm at Rotman, third floor tables, and it's about 9 o'clock. I'm sitting there with Felix, and it's getting late. We have to choose the top startups from our stack to recommend to the CDL. But how could we choose? There was still so much we didn't know about them, and the impact was huge. How would we feel if we turned on a company that ended up making billions? Bottom line, we struggled with the decision-making process. Fast forward 3 weeks. It's the first G7 meeting, and I'm watching the fellows make decisions way harder than Felix and I had to make. And they made them 10 times faster and more confidently than we did, with just as much, if not less, information. And this happened over and over and over again. And it started to sink in that being a good decision maker isn't always about collecting a ton of data, performing exhaustive analysis, and being 100% sure that your decision is the right one. It's just as important to be able to act fast under imperfect information, because unicorns wait for no one. Lesson 2. Learning to appreciate what I bring to a team. After interview day, I remember feeling a lot of self-doubt. I had just met all these super smart founders, and not only were they versatile and ambitious, but they were engineers and coders and chemists. And what could I do? I mean, I'd learn how to think critically and break down a problem, but wasn't everything I had to offer kind of just common sense? But what I found when we started working together is that when it came to big, vague, unstructured problems, they started to sweat. And suddenly, Vahe and I's ability to bring process and structure and business analysis to these problems became really valuable. In other words, I began to appreciate that structured thinking, analytical rigor, and financial and legal literacy are not necessarily common knowledge and can actually add a lot of value, especially in an engineering or technical context. And this definitely translated into a new confidence in terms of what I can bring to a startup. Which leads well into lesson 3, gaining clarity on my career trajectory. Okay, cue the music. Back in September, Professor Agrawal posted to Slack, asking each of us what we hoped to get out of the CDL. My answer was that I wanted to see what it was really like to start a startup, warts and all, and test drive it to see if it was something I thought I'd like to do. Professor Agrawal wished me luck, handed me a sweatshirt, and asked me to check back at the end of the year with any insights. So, is starting a startup all IPOs and after parties? Absolutely not. But it is an opportunity to create something from nothing, to not have to get some boring job, and probably most exciting to me, to spend your time building something that you own and not just advising others. In other words, I think I answered my question from September. I want to get into this startup thing, and soon. And that's what I learned this year.